them all, put them back up on the shelf. Guess my little baby girl is in need. Am I coming out of left field?
Welcome back to Nerd Thug Radio.
Woo.
Woo, 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 Kenny Woo.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa,
I'm Joey Savage.
Down to the
That's
police. Corey DLG. Woo here.
That's Woo DLG over there.
That's Detective Woo.
Detective
DLG.
Woo.
Hey, I got something. I'm just gonna off the top of my head.
Do it. Let's do it.
All right.
Do it.
So, did you?
Do it.
I read about this and it immediately kind of frustrated me a little bit.
Do it.
Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Okay, so apparently I didn't know it's even been on the air this long, but apparently it's been on the air like 10 seasons, 9 seasons, something like that.
It's been going a while.
Didn't even know that.
It's a not a rerun, but a remake.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
What? Yeah. So anyway, beyond that, thank you.
Just giving knowledge to the fans.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
listeners.
That's fair. Maybe some of them don't know that. I found this out. I thought this was kind of really appalling. I don't know how you feel. The two Asian actors are leaving the show because I don't know if they just found this out or every negotiation they've lost and they're finally tired of it.
Yeah.
But they're getting paid like 80% of what the other two guys are getting.
Right.
There's 4 of them in the show together, and like Scott Kahn is kind of a big deal.
Steve Kahn?
Scott.
I don't know who it is.
Scott Kahn. He's in.
Is he Tweeter from?
Tweeter. Yeah, and then from the Blue movie with Paul Walker and Jessica Alba.
Okay.
So he's in like buddy
Varsity
movies
Blues.
every once in a while, Varsity Blues, stuff like that, and then now this.
Right.
And he's James Caan's son, so that's like his claim to fame.
Here's my issue.
dad's
Perfect.
thing.
Here's my issue with this.
That's fair. What's your issue?
It's unbelievably insane that they're getting paid less than the other white characters.
Right, and that's the thing is the two guys who are in the lead are the white dudes, and the white dudes are getting X, and these guys are getting 80%.
And they're just as big for the show.
Right, because it's a foursome. The show's about the foursome.
That part, unbelievable. The second part is, it's been going on for 10 seasons. How are you just now finding this out?
I don't think.
Where has your agent been?
Like that's what I wonder if the other two never said what they were getting before.
No, because whenever you go to a workplace, the one thing you don't discuss is your pay.
Which, by the way, statistics and studies will all tell you that you should discuss it because the only person it helps is the company. If everyone in the office finds out what they say in studies and stuff is, like, let's say everyone okay, in our group, we all know Nico's the weak link.
Right.
So if we found out that Nico was making $20 an hour and you were getting 15 and I was getting 12, when we all sat down and said that, we wouldn't get mad at Nico for getting 20.
No.
We would get mad at the bosses for
quit.
rewarding the weak link
Right.
that money. And we would pressure them, okay, well, if that's your $20 effort, when I do twice as much, now that means I'm worth at least 30.
Right, and that's why a lot of times companies write those rules into the
they ask,
whatever.
Yeah, because they're trying to protect themselves.
But still, I mean, you hear a lot of time on these TV shows, agents and actors and actresses, they go in and they do these things together
as a group, right?
Why are these guys not doing that?
Well,
it's been 10 seasons.
And apparently they're all on different contracts, too. Because
Right.
you notice only these two were renegotiating at this time.
Right.
So maybe they're negotiating as a group. And the other,
they've got bad agents, man.
Well, the Big Bang Theory, though, did the same thing. The original core 4 nerds, they negotiate together. Actually, Sheldon's separate.
No, they all go together.
No, Sheldon's separate because he gets more than all of them.
Not anymore. Because this last season, they all took a pay cut.
Yeah, that's actually a myth. That's not true. Amy, the lady who plays Amy Farrah Fowler, actually came forward and said
That's not true?
Yeah. It's something they all, they didn't deny the story, but they forced the producers to give her more money, but they didn't actually give up more money. But yeah, Sheldon negotiates separately because
he's the star.
One of the big things was the last time when all the nerds resigned, Penny and the nerds negotiate together. And then the other 2 girls came on at the same season,
right?
And they negotiate together. And basically what happened was the 3 nerds and Penny signed up again, and then basically their whole deal was contingent on, okay, if we get Sheldon back, then the deal's good.
Okay. But still, I mean, these 4 people are like the main stars of this Hawaii Five-0 show.
Right, and they are in it together.
And they've been doing 10 seasons together.
And I would say Kelly Hu is even just as big a star as Scott Kahn.
I'd fire my agent before I quit the show.
No, I'd quit the show. I'd quit the show because at this point, first of all, 9 seasons in, I'm probably sitting on a pretty good stack of cash.
Right.
So at this point, I could walk away head held high. They got 9 seasons of me in the show. I'm forever going to be tied to the show. But I do get to make my public statement now.
Right,
now that I'm rich,
still,
that they're not taking care of.
But this is something you know and you can continue on. And in this aspect, you've given trust to your agent to negotiate with you, and they haven't come through for you.
But you always approve the deal. So, if the agent comes back to you and he goes, hey, man, look, they're at well, I don't know what they're making.
No, I don't either.
But let's say it's like $500,000 an episode.
Right.
You're at $500,000 an episode right now. and they're saying on the re-up they're going to bump you up to $650, and you're like, man, that's a substantial amount of money. Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that.
Right.
Cool, because I'm filming in Hawaii. I've got a nice
True,
life.
but
They're
still,
taking care of
I
me.
mean-
And then you find out one day you go to set and Scott's like, man, my agent, like, I don't know. I'm thinking about changing because he only got me up to $850 on this last one. And you're like, I'm sorry. What did you say? And he's like, yeah, I'm at $850. And you're like,
That's
whoa,
when you
whoa,
go to your
whoa,
agent
whoa,
and you're
whoa.
like, why am I getting $650 and my co-star is getting more than me and we are equal parts on this show?
Right. And
why aren't you doing better?
And
for
I don't
me?
watch Hawaii Five-0, so I
don't
can't
either.
conclusively say that screen time is equal.
Me either.
And screen time may be a factor in this. However, I know the four of them, I've seen a few episodes, and I felt like in those episodes, the four of them were equally portrayed, and they've had stories about all of them, so it's hard for me to believe.
But yeah, no, you're right. But it was very surprising to me, and it doesn't look good for.
No,
it doesn't look
doesn't.
good for the media right now.
And how is the position, how can you take the position that you don't have to pay them the same?
Right.
Like, if I'm the studio and it's two Asian people together saying, hey, we were checking and we actually make 80% of what you're paying the white dudes.
Yeah, that's not good.
Like,
That's embarrassing.
right, it's at least publicly embarrassing, and it probably opens some doors for
Some stuff.
and with there being unions involved, like, it could be an issue. You could have a real issue.
This show might get shut down.
Well, the show probably wouldn't, but the studio might have to write a pretty big check.
Or the show just gets shut down. I mean, unless you just got two Asians that are starving for work, like who's going to go work for someone like that?
Well, that's not the problem. What I'm saying is, like, they may go back and hammer the studio and be like, listen, like, let's say they find out on another show that there's another Asian person, and they're getting also, again, 80% of what their co-stars are
Right.
getting.
It's
I mean,
not
at this point,
it's not going to go well for the studio.
No, at
that's
that point,
for sure.
it's a pattern.
Yeah, you should. I
And
mean,
why Asians?
you should definitely get
No, I'm
paid
just kidding.
for your
That's
work,
not-
not your nationality, or
No,
your
you definitely
gender, or
should.
anything else.
And I don't understand.
Sexual preference, nothing. It should be based upon your work effort
Yeah.
and what you bring to that show.
You
Right,
win your
right.
merit as an actor.
Now, there is an element to, you get what you earn.
Yeah.
You get what you ask for. Harry Potter, famously, Daniel Radcliffe, he had a deal so bad that the Actors Union, the Guild, stepped in.
Well, the first four movies, the deals weren't. They didn't even work well for J.K. Rowling. I don't think they expected it to be that big.
Yeah, and they probably didn't.
I think it was after movie 4 where they really reworked the deals and everyone started getting
But
paid.
that was because the Actors Guild stepped in at that point, and I think the three main kids their deals were they all get the same, and then I think they were getting like the child actor like minimums, like they
Right.
weren't getting like there's guild standards already set, and I think they weren't getting anything
Which the first
special.
movie, like it makes sense. It's the first movie, you don't know what's happening.
Right.
But you got to think you'd have kickers from the like.
Possibly. I mean, I want to say it was. She sold the first 4 movie rights for like £1 million. That's it for the first 4 movies.
I don't know about that
I
because I,
think it
remember
was-
she held out for a long, long time.
That was the first 4. I mean, back then you got to think.
Right, but I remember she held out for.
I'm gonna check this.
surprising. Yeah, well, we can Google that in the break.
'cause I was just reading about this the other day because we're almost done with our Harry Potter marathon.
Oh, okay.
So,
But yeah, like so the guild had to step in and it got them one of the biggest paydays in movie
Yeah.
history. So then these 3 kids then became the 3 like when they do their list of like rich people under whatever.
Right.
These 3 are always on it.
which is so crazy because
Radcliffe.
besides Radcliffe, the other 2, which is Emma Watson
And Rupert Grint.
Emma and Rupert didn't have any acting experience before this.
Well, I don't think Radcliffe did either.
Radcliffe was in a BBC movie on Copperfield where
Oh,
you
was
played
he?
like a young
Okay.
Copperfield, so you
Oh,
had
neat.
some kind of
Okay.
stuff. But the other 2, they had just been in like school plays, and the one, man, I love Harry Potter. Like, I could go on this forever.
I love Emma Watson. I think
She's turned into such a great actress.
she really has, and on top of that, she
Well,
picks good movies. They do well in the box office. She handles herself well with the media, with people, with interviews,
Well,
with
even
things.
the Rupert, like he hasn't done a lot of like movie stuff,
Right,
but he's
I haven't
done a
seen him a
lot
lot.
of plays,
Yeah.
Broadway type musicals.
That's probably why.
He's already got money, so he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't have to work.
Well, and also they man, I don't remember what it was that I was watching about him, but it was something financially where what he did is him and his family basically they got together and they kind of made a plan with his money,
Very good.
and he's like heavy in real estate
Right.
and like
They
commercial,
invested in
like
probably
it's all
all that
like
stuff,
it's like
yeah.
commercial real estate and stuff. So like you got to think the amount of money that he had if he went even like 60-40 real estate and then other stuff, he's probably getting a
Oh, yeah.
solid revenue in just on real estate.
I don't okay. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but besides Harry Potter, because of they did 8 films, I don't think there's been any other movie franchise where you've literally seen 3 kids start at a very young age and then just grow up in the movies. You see it on like TV shows sometimes, but like, you can tell their acting from the first one, how it just progresses, and it just worked because
you're right about that.
It worked because
they get older,
while they're learning to act, they're also learning how to be wizards
right.
in the school.
Right.
And
it works out.
It worked so perfectly.
Beautifully.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling, you're the best.
You got me thinking now. I'm trying to think of another franchise.
In a movie franchise. Yeah. Most movie franchises don't last 8 movies.
No, they don't.
There's not that many.
3, maybe.
Right.
With all the characters in them.
Hey, oh man, okay. So if you count the Marvel Cinematic Universe as one series of movies, there's only 3 franchises that have over, I think it's 12 movies.
Okay.
And I think one of them...
Police Academy and Land Before Time.
No.
Land Before Time has like 16 movies.
One of them is Marvel. I think they're talking about like major motion picture.
Oh, okay.
And one of them is James Bond. James Bond, I think, is 25. And I think the third was
Way Before Time.
Star Wars.
Well, Star Wars only has
7.
8 films at the moment.
Oh, 8, yeah.
You got the 7, and then you've got the one from
the Rogue One.
Rogue One. It's only got 8 films.
Maybe it was Star Trek.
Star Trek's got a lot.
Because with the new trilogy, I think Star Trek is now up to...
Because they went to like Star Trek 6 in the old school ones.
So okay, so the first
trilogy, so that makes 9.
Well, but you also got to remember they also did the new generation ones too.
Those were movies as well. I don't know.
Yeah, they did like 3.
I'm late to the game on Star Trek.
They did like 3 with Captain Picard.
Okay.
So they did like 4 or 5 with Kirk. I think 3 with Picard.
And now 3 with the new Kirk.
Right.
So that's 10 now.
Yeah,
We're at 10.
I think. I'm gonna double check that.
Let's double check that. We're gonna jump out to a break.
Yeah.
We'll save that for the end of the show.
Yeah.
We come back. We're gonna get into our weekly top 3. You're halfway done listening to Nerd Thug Radio this week.
Whoop whoop.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.